Hey everybody, it's GTSH Productions once again with the second part of my Q&A. I know it's been a while since the first part, but I figured I'd finally get back to this and record the second part and get it out here for you guys. So today's questions are going to be focused on mostly like the Thomas show and the railway series and the merchandise and maybe a little bit of fan series stuff is sprinkled in as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Who is your favorite character? Pretty easy. Sir Handel. He's been my favorite for about 10 years now. Who is your least favorite character? Emily is probably my least favorite Thomas character because her character has always been really inconsistent to me. I've never liked how they handled her. They always made her like the big sister, then the big brat, then they made her a whiner, and they made her insecure. They essentially just made Emily what they needed her to be for an individual story more than an actual consistent character that they actually cared to develop. And I've never enjoyed her character. So, yeah, Emily is probably my least favorite. Favorite Thomas movie? My favorite Thomas movie is probably Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure. I've always really enjoyed that one, and I think it's definitely the best one. Most relatable Thomas character? Probably either James, Sir Handel, or Oliver. There's like little parts of them that I definitely relate to. My top 10 favorite Thomas characters. I actually wrote these down on the list before I started recording. Number 10 is Mavis, 9 is Henry, 8 is Skarloey, 7 is Edward, 6 is Peter Sam, 5 is Duke, 4 is Donald and Douglas, 3 is Oliver, 2 is James, and number 1 is Sir Handel. Most underrated Thomas character. I'm going to go any of Kelly, Peter Sam, or Oliver as most underrated. Who is the most overrated or underhated character? This is going to be a hot take. I'm going to go Duncan. Duncan has never been a personal favorite of mine. I like him. He's a great character. But I feel like he's always been a bit overrated. I've always believed that Sir Handel was better. Who's your favorite railway series character? Probably Frank, Bear, or Culdee. Favorite Ghislaine era newbie is probably Spencer, Murdoch, or Arthur. Had certain background characters like Dennis, Molly, Mighty Mac, etc. had more screen time, do you think they'd be more well-liked by fans? Who do you think should have gotten more attention? Who do you wish had gotten more attention? And who's your favorite? I think what the fans have done, especially enterprising with a lot of these characters, makes these characters a lot more enjoyable. And I think what they were missing was just development. They could have had all the screen time in the world, but they wouldn't necessarily have been better characters. I don't consider someone like Rebecca a better character than someone like Dennis, just because she had just because she had more screen time. She is just about as bland as you can be. And what a lot of these characters lack is genuine development. So if they had good development, I think they'd be good characters. However, out of all of them, I'd probably have to pick Dennis as my favorite. Favorite blue engine, Sir Handel. Favorite red engine, James. Donald or Douglas? I'm going to go with Donald because I've said this for years. Douglas does not rescue Oliver if Donald does not rescue Douglas. James or Henry? I'm going to go James. Favorite obscure Thomas character? I'm going to go Wilbert or Stanley. Rank the narrow gauge engines. I'm going to rank all of the ones that appeared in the TV series. So like Stanley and a few of the Mid-Sodor engines there and the Culdee engines. I'm not going to count them. From worst to best, Bertram, Proteus, Freddy, Mighty Mac, Millie, Luke, Victor, Duncan, Rusty, Rheneas, Skarloey, Peter Sam, Duke, Sir Handel. Worst narrow gauge engine is probably Bertram. I like Bertram. I really want to like him. But there's nothing to him. He never even spoke. So at least Proteus has like a tiny bit of mystery to him. And Bertram, yeah, he has a bit of mystery to him, but he's just a Duke repaint. So, and although Proteus is just a Sir Handel repaint, there's a bit more to Proteus just because there's legends about him and all that type of stuff. And I will say, out of all the characters that had nothing to them, Proteus is by far the best handled by fans. So I'll give the edge to Proteus on that. Would you rather get beat up by Sir Handel or Duncan? Well, this is a weird question, but I'm going to go Sir Handel just because I feel like Duncan wouldn't show any mercy. Charlie or Billy? I'm going to go with Charlie just because Charlie's just unfunny and annoying, and Billy's just a bit of an asshole, so I'd rather be friends with an unfunny person than an asshole. So, thoughts on the logging locos? I have no thoughts. They're trash. Who is your favorite Tugs character? I'm going to go with Hercules or Big Mac. I really enjoyed both of them. I haven't watched Tugs in at least 5 years, but when I did watch it, I really enjoyed it. And Hercules and Big Mac were always the standouts to me. I really enjoyed Sunshine and Warrior too, and Top Hat had some great lines, but I always liked Hercules and Big Mac. Favorite Thomas episode is probably Grandpuff. It's probably Grandpuff and Sleeping Beauty. I know it's technically a two-parter, so it doesn't really count, but you can't really have one without the other, and I truly believe that is the shows. I think Tug called it the magnum opus, and I don't think there's a better way to describe it. So, yeah, I'd describe it as the magnum opus of the books and the show. Thoughts on Blue Mountain Mystery? It's definitely not the best Thomas movie, like some people say. It's top 5, though. I would probably rank it behind The Adventure Begins and Great Discovery and maybe Tale of the Brave. It's in the general, 3 to 5 region. Probably 5. Probably it's better than Hero of the Rails. But I think it's slightly better than Great Discovery and slightly worse than Tale of the Brave. So I'd probably rank it 4th. Thoughts on Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure? Like I said, it's the best Thomas movie far and away. I feel like it's not even close at this point. I feel like everyone that says Lost Treasure, I feel like it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse when I say this, but it's genuinely just so cinematic. All the characters they used were amazing. I love the character selection, and I really enjoyed the way they handled Thomas in that movie. So I think Lost Treasure is by far the best Thomas movie. What is the best season of Thomas and Friends? If it wasn't already obvious, season 4 is by far the best season of Thomas. It is visually stunning. I don't care about the lighting. I think it's fantastic. The set design is phenomenal. The standard gauge episodes are great. I love the visuals of the standard gauge episodes, but obviously the standout of season 4 is the narrow gauge episodes, far and away. All 7 narrow gauge characters are wonderful, fantastic. I know what I said about Duncan earlier, but I still love Duncan, and he is my least favorite of the bunch, and he is still a top 25 character for me. So that should say a lot about all of the narrow gauge engines. So they're all wonderful, amazing characters that I'm so glad made it to the big screen and are just incredible. And season 4 is by far the best season. What is the worst season of Thomas and Friends? I could so easily say season 15 or season 23 or season 14 or season 24. I'm going to go with season 12. My God, that season was bad. I can't think of a single good episode. The CGI meshed with the models was just awful. The CGI faces were ugly. They were hideous. The set design was somehow even worse than usual. I love the fact that they brought in a bunch of characters like Arthur and Stepney and Donald and Douglas and Oliver right before they left, but it doesn't help the fact that the stories are terrible and the models and the set design is terrible and the CGI is just horrific. Thoughts on Wonky Whistle? If it's not the worst episode of the show, it's the worst up to the show, up to the Bubba era. Or at the very least, it is the worst episode of the Miller era. It is not a good episode at all. What do you like about Thomas? First off, I'm going to say it's simplicity, just because that's what everyone thinks, and that's what I think. I really enjoy the simplicity of Thomas, but I think what I enjoy the most out of Thomas is its potential. The world building and the lore and the character development that all exists within this universe. It's so intricate and thought out. It's really well done. What are your favorite and least favorite parts of the Thomas lore? My favorite part is probably how intricate and detailed it is. and my least favorite is probably the Peel Godred shit, because I feel like just throwing in a bunch of no-name electric engines that we never made is just kind of lazy, and I'm absolutely going to retcon that for Total Than a Now. Which canon of Thomas is your favorite? It's Railway Series, and it's not remotely close. It's the most consistent, and it makes the most sense. How do you imagine the Northwestern Railway? If you ask me, like, any type of headcanon for anything, it's just what I do in Total Than I Know. That's my headcanon. That is the way I look at the universe. And that's how I imagine the railway. Favorite Railway Series book? No surprise here, Duke the Lost Engine. By far the best. Thoughts on All Engines Go? It sucks. Moving on. If you could have Thomas crossover with another show, which show would it be? None, actually. Absolutely none. I would actually rather die than see it crossover with any show. Do you have a favorite steam, diesel, or electric locomotive? I don't have anything for diesel or electric, but I think my favorite steam engine is the Adams Radial. It's a gorgeous design. It's really cool looking, and I've always enjoyed it. Tomy or Playrail? I'm going to go Playrail because of its additional detail. And although it's kind of fallen off in the last couple of years, it's remained mostly consistent. What's your favorite Thomas DVD or VHS? The Best of James. I grew up with that, and I love all the episodes on it, even the supposedly bad ones. I enjoy all the James episodes from the classic series because all of them are on there. Favorite Tomy model? What is your top 10 to 20? I'm not going to do 20 just because that's like a ton. But my favorite is probably Edward, and I'm going to rank him from 10 to 1. I'm going to go Dennis, CGI Percy, Old James, Henry, Sir Handel, 2010 Sir Handel specifically, the one with the black wheels. Number 5 is Stepney, then Gator, Arthur, Mighty Mac, Edward. What is the rarest item in your collection? If it's not Bertram, it's Ned. And it's not Oliver. Just throwing that out there. Oliver's not rare. Just saying. What is your favorite item that you own? It's probably my custom Scotsman or D261. I think they're both really well done. If you're talking like official Tomy products, I'm probably going to go Mighty Mac, Gator, or Edward. I think they're really well done. How many Tomy engines do you have? If we're talking just engines, including the duplicates, I'm going to go about 80 or 90. If we're including rolling stock, I'm going to go about 200. Do you have the Superstation? No, and I don't plan on getting it. Do you prefer Hornby or Bachmann? I'm going to go Bachmann. Thoughts on the other Thomas ranges? I would love to collect Bachmann one day. It's just crazy expensive, and I am just dreading the day in like 2027 when Sir Handel comes out so I can make a very poor financial decision. What are your thoughts on the motorized metallic 75th anniversary engines? They're pretty bad. I like the shiny paint. I like the finish on them, but I just hate the way they look in motorized or Trackmaster 2 form, whatever they are now. The shapes of the engines are just terrible. What is your favorite Ertl? I'm going to go Jock. They went so hard on the rarest and like most obscure model for like no reason, and he just looks incredible. I've held an Ertl Jock before, bro. It's so good. Should I get the Trackmaster fakes on AliExpress? If you want, they're a little overpriced in my opinion. I saw like a Ben on there for like $30, and that's just not worth your time. But if you want them, you can get them. I think so long as they run well, they have great custom potential. Where do you get your engines? I mostly get the non-Japanese products on eBay, and Japanese products I get on DJapan. DJapan, I do like one DJapan order a year just because the shipping is so ridiculous. I'll do like one big order of like $100 worth of items plus, and then I pay a good like $50 in shipping. It's not terrible, so I typically do one order a year. I have one on the way with a bunch of stuff I can't wait to show you guys. So, yeah. What piece of Trackmaster Tomy merch do you want most? A lot of what I want is what's being shipped in that DJapan order that I just mentioned, but out of the things I don't have and don't currently have on the way, I would love a Red Rosie or a new in box Playrail or Handle. Have you seen Engines of 8? No, I have no idea what that is. Have you heard about the 8012 universe? No, I also have no idea what that is. Thoughts on Thomas reskins? They're kind of mid. I don't care for them. Thoughts on the Unlucky Tug? I think he's a great Thomas YouTuber. I think he has really well done videos. I don't think he should be the person you turn to in terms of like lore and headcanon, because obviously a lot of what he says is his own personal headcanon. And while it makes sense, it's kind of fun to have your own interpretation. So definitely don't use what he says as facts. But I think the Tug glorifying and the Tug hating are just simultaneously annoying. I think there's a middle ground. I think he's great, but he's not my personal favorite. And I think he makes great stuff, so I don't have an issue with him. Any nostalgic Thomas videos, specifically Tommy? Rama Fool and Thomas Blows His Stack are up there, but I got to go with the Diesel D199 shorts. They're incredible, and I still laugh at them to this day. Do you have a favorite railroad? I'm going to go with the Tallyland Railway in Wales. It's like my dream to go there, so I would love to go there at some point. And finally, hell of a way to end this, favorite Thomas Roblox game. I don't play Roblox that much, and I've played a few Thomas games. I don't really have a favorite. So there you have it. That was a little over 50 questions, and that's going to do it for this part of the Q&A. I will talk to you all later.